All right, I think we are live, everybody. I'm pretty sure. Double check though. How do you check? You check your YouTube, right, on your phone. And make sure there's like a volume. Yep. All right, I think we are live. All right, perfect. What's happening? So, shakedown has been completed, and I'm just gonna wait for a bit. See if we can get any people viewing at the same time. But yeah, shakedown has been completed. It's great. The app X is crazy, bro. Myron's cooking on that. Silver plunges. Let's have a look. I don't care about silver at the moment. I care about Formula One. The latest. We are live. Okay. So, what we're going to do is actually go face cam, okay? We're going to talk Formula One today on this live stream. Yep. And I like to re-upload the video actually onto YouTube. Of course, I feel like I need a haircut, but I'm trying to grow my hair like Lance Stroll in 2020. If anyone remembers that hairstyle. Alrighty. All right. So, we're talking 2026 Shakedown Barcelona in today's video. So, what have we learned? What are the lap times? Everyone's happy about Ferrari, of course, and it's a whole thing. And yeah, and there's a few articles I want to read that I've got on the computer here, which I will show you guys. But what can we learn from testing? Testing was very interesting in 2026. Well, shakedown they call it, right? Shakedown, but was it really a shakedown? I don't know. But what I will say is that let me try to get this up. Hold on, sorry guys, so I can read the chats in case. What I will say is that it was an interesting day 5 of testing. I've seen the footage. I've seen the interviews after. Who's happy, who's not. And what we've learned so far in this 2026 Formula One season. It's very interesting. Let me tell you that much, okay? I'll tell you that much. And, yeah, all the lap times, the quickest times from everybody. Which was interesting to see. If spoiler alert, Ferrari on top. Second Mercedes, or I think second and third Mercedes, but I will definitely get the times up now. F1 News, Hamilton quickest as Barcelona F1 shakedown concludes. That's what the article sees, and that's what we're going to be looking at right now. So the shakedown has been complete, guys, and let me talk to you quickly before we look at any articles. I'll give you guys my insight on the shakedown. Number one, let's talk about probably the quickest team, best car on the grid at the moment. Look at the shakedown. Now, they are the favourites. I'm going to say it now, Mercedes look like the best team on the grid. George Russell and Kimi Antonelli. They look like the best. That's where we're at. Second place, I'm going to go Red Bull at this point in stage. They're the second best team. Third best, I'm going to say Aston Martin, because they haven't actually done a full powertrain. And then fourth place, McLaren. Or actually fourth place. Between McLaren and Ferrari, it's very difficult. Now, doesn't mean to say that Ferrari can't be the quickest when we get to Bahrain. What are Williams doing? We know who the slowest team is, I feel like. I'm going to say now, I think that Audi are the slowest team on the grid so far. My prediction, very close to the back with Cadillac. Now, let's talk about the teams very soon. But let's click the first article, F1 News. Lewis Hamilton quickest at the F1 Barcelona shakedown. Okay, so if we can actually look at the times here. Here we go. So, shakedown, day 5, unofficial. Now, we've had a couple of days of shakedown testing, of course, and we can talk about the drivers and like their I guess, their moods during interviews as well. But yeah, anyway, Lewis Hamilton, P1 with Ferrari, with a 1:16.348, 67 laps. Lando Norris actually finishing P2 with the McLaren, a 1:16.594, 86 laps. Charles Leclerc, P3, a 1:16.653, 78 laps. Oscar Piastri, P4, 1:17.446, 80 laps. Max Verstappen, P5, a 1:17.586 with an impressive 118 laps. Pierre Gasly in Alpine, really showing how strong that Mercedes engine actually is during this last day of testing. 1:17.707, 164 laps, the most laps of the day. Esteban Ocon, 7th, a 1:18.393, 85 laps. Ollie Behrman, P8 with the Haas, a 1:18.423, 105 laps. Nico Hulkenberg, 9th with Audi, a 1:19.870, 78 laps. Gabriel Borrello, P10 with Audi, a 1:21.79, 67 laps. Fernando Alonso, P11 with Aston Martin, a 1:27.95, only 61 laps. They did have a bit of problems the first time they went out. They were only there for 2 days of testing, Aston Martin, unfortunately. And P12, Valtteri Bottas and Cadillac with a 1:20.920, 54 laps under their belt. That's where we're at. Okay, that's where we are at, guys, at this point in time on day 5 of preseason testing. What can we take away from this? Now, I said Audi are the slowest team on the grid, in my personal opinion, but they did an astonishing, a pretty over 100 and so laps between Gabriel Borrello and Nico Hulkenberg. They have been at the back the whole time, though. Cadillac have been at the back too, but only 54 laps. Cadillac said they're just trying to get some running in and just trying to really prove that they can get the car going, and they're going to do a full official speed run during Bahrain, they said in interviews. I don't know about all that. They've probably done some type of speed run and just saw they are pretty slow compared to other teams. But yeah, that's where we are with Cadillac, Valtteri Bottas, only 54 laps at the back. Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso. Listen, what I'll say about Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso, and all that, and Adrian Newey's car and all that. Aston Martin came late to the party. Are they just sandbagging? I don't know, because Alonso looks like he's got a smile from here to here, mate. I'll tell you one thing. He looks very happy, Fernando Alonso, considering the 1:20.795 with 61 laps. Gabriel Borrello, Nico Hulkenberg, 9th and 10th. So I think it's Audi, Cadillac at the back. Alpine look like they've improved drastically. Don't look like World Championship contenders, though, and where Colapinto saying last year, oh, championship, next year, championship. I don't think so. Impressive from Ferrari. I just feel like Ferrari are a bit of a dark horse. We don't know if they're shit or good or what's going on with Ferrari. McLaren are up there. I think that Red Bull are up there. McLaren and Red Bull sort of about the same pace. Maybe McLaren might actually be edging Red Bull a bit. But, you know, you got Max Verstappen in that Red Bull. And then I think, obviously, Mercedes weren't there during day 5 of unofficial testing or whatever it is. But looking at that, man, I still go, you know, Mercedes are the quickest. Second, you have to go Red Bull still, that 118 mega laps. Third, McLaren now. Aston Martin, but it's toss and turn between both of them. But Aston Martin's a very, very good-looking car, as we know. And that's, yeah, it's very difficult at this point in time. That was from Speed Cafe. What have we learned over the biggest preseason? Let's have a look. What do we reckon we've learned? Here we go. Mileage by team day 4. Mercedes, 502 laps, 2,000. Oh, let's have a look at the laps. Don't know about the kilometers. So, Mercedes with the most laps, 502. Racing Bulls, 319. Ferrari, 295. Haas, 196. Red Bull Racing, 186 laps to the top 5. Alpine, 185 laps. McLaren, 124. Cadillac, 110. Audi, 95. Aston Martin, only 5 laps. Williams, Mercedes, 0 laps. But that's... That's day 4, sorry. That was day 4, okay? Day 4, okay. That's all day 4. I was going to say, no, Aston Martin did a lot more laps than that. I was very confused. That was 11 hours ago. Sorry, that was a day ago. Positive take for that. Let's go news. We can talk about Ferrari. Why not? What's this? Testing highs. Lewis Hamilton finishes a week. We can't even watch that come from Australia. Great. Charles Leclerc winning. Warning. Super interesting 2026 F1 cars. Like Leclerc. We could talk about Leclerc. Charles, looked optimistic. I just think that Charles has an exit plan at the end of 2026, to be honest with you. He's either going to join Aston, Mercedes, or McLaren at the end of 2026. Probably whoever's got the quickest car, Leclerc will probably try and get that seat. At the moment, he might look for that Mercedes seat, but will it be available? If George Russell becomes champion, why would they get rid of George Russell? They've invested so much money into Kimi Antonelli. Someone's got to lose their seat unless they got Verstappen trying to get that seat and Leclerc. They're probably the top two contenders for that Mercedes seat. Who goes? Antonelli, their star of the future, or does their new world champion? If it happens, George Russell, I don't know. I don't know, because it's a very difficult one. How do you get rid of the world champion? How do you get rid of the reigning world champion? I've never seen that done before in Formula One. Getting rid of your reigning world champion. I've never heard of that before in my whole life. So I don't think that happens, but Charles Leclerc obviously trying to look for something else, unless he thinks maybe next year Ferrari have a chance. I don't know, but from the looks of it, man, I don't know. It's going to be difficult for Ferrari to really... I don't know if they're going to win, mate. I don't know. I'm very toss and turn about Ferrari, to be quite frank with you, to be quite honest. They're really they're a dark horse. I don't know, but yeah, it's interesting to see. Like Leclerc was optimistic, saying, even if wherever we place, we have so much work to do, and we are trying to get to the top, and we need to get to the top. So from the sounds of Leclerc, he doesn't look too upset, but I think he thinks that they are behind a few of the other teams, and I feel like teams sort of know where they are roughly. They don't say it, of course, but I feel like teams definitely know where they are on the scale of the of the grid. Ferrari, 4th or 5th best. So difficult to say. But yeah, we'll see what Charles actually does. Charles obviously very interested. There's a nice picture of Leclerc, isn't it? Charles very interested to see where he's going to be, and obviously optimistic about his future in Formula One. And obviously, the interesting thing was that on the unofficial times, Lewis Hamilton actually topped. So see full results. So this is the full scale of every single lap that we had, right? Lap times. So the lap times that we had and the top lap times, right? From first all the way to 20th, right? Because obviously Williams didn't take part. Are Williams hooking up a storm? I don't know. But Lewis Hamilton topped it with a 1:16.348. The quickest time of the whole 5 days of testing or shakedown. Second, George Russell with a 1:16.445. Third, Lando Norris with the McLaren. Charles, 4th. 5th, Antonelli. 6th, Piastri. 7th, Verstappen. 8th, Gasly. 9th, Hazard. 10th, Ocon. 11th, Behrman. 12th, Lindblad. 13th, Lawson. 14th, Colapinto. 15th, Hulkenberg. Gabriel Borrello. 16th, 17th, Fernando. 18th, Bottas. 19th, Perez. And Stroll, 20th. Now, looking at this, Aston Martin look like they're really far behind, even though, Alonso, they're smiling and happy. Or is he just happy it's his last season in Formula 1? I don't know. I think we can expect, obviously, more from Aston Martin. I think Audi and Cadillac are representing sort of where they are. Racing Bulls at the back there too. Alpine and Franco need to sort of be up there. Haas are sort of relevantly there. Red Bull, I think, are a bit quicker than what they're showing. Yeah, this is an interesting grid, I'm telling you now. But yeah, it's very interesting. Like I said, I think the favourites are definitely still McLaren. Has to be, right? It has to be McLaren. Yeah, it's very interesting, that. I'll tell you that much. See, like I said before, I don't understand why they made it behind closed doors, this whole thing. Like, it's a joke, but anyway, I don't know. I couldn't help you. Looking at some of the pictures, probably the best livery had to be that. I love this McLaren in all black. That was really sick. Here it is here. That looks amazing. The Ferraris, the front nose looks amazing. I don't like all that white. That's a bit chat, I'm not going to lie. But then the Aston Martin looked interesting as well. Fernando on track. It's pretty much the same helmet. Like, that's a nice photo of the Ferrari, though. It reminds me of that 2019 Sebastian Vettel era. The Haas looks nice as well. And I'm sure that Hamilton's going to be changing his helmet coming the first race or preseason testing. Hamilton does that type of stuff. But, yeah, all in all, man, I think Mercedes are on top. That's where we're at, I think. I'll leave it there, guys. Little quick video, little quick stream, just to talk about that. Day 5. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next stream.